Hey everyone, Trace here. Today we'll be making a birthday card that is hand lettered, and it's sort of hand lettered. You're going to be doing a little cheat with it and for this technique, and I'll show you how that's done. So what you're going to need is a card base, a card front, some embellishments. I'm using these little balloons. You can use anything you'd like. You're going to need a scrap piece of paper, and I'm using the stamp set from May Made It that's called Big Time Sayings, and they're perfect for this technique. Any of them on here would be perfect. I'm going to use the Happy and the Birthday to You, and so also I'm using some Versamark ink, some VersaFine ink in Onyx Black, some Fiskars stamp blocks, some art glitter glue, and the brush pens that I'll be needing for this project. I'm using the Kelly Creates brush pens, and that's because it has the colors that I want to use. And it comes in a pack like this here, and that's from Michaels. You can also use some brush pens from Tombow. These will work really great too. These are great pens. There was just the colors that I wanted to use for this project. And then I'm also going to use a gel metallic jelly roll pen and some twine. So that will be all you need. Let's get started. So first off, we're going to be practicing the lettering, and the more you practice, the better at it you'll get. My first ones were not so great, and then I kept getting better and better. And as you're practicing, you will get that flow of how to form the letters a little bit better than being a little shaky, or it'll just flow nicely. And so the trick also is to make sure you keep flowing in one continuous motion. And if you do have to stop, in between the actual letters is the best place to stop. So to practice, go ahead and get some Versamark ink. And usually, before knowing this technique, I only use this ink for heat embossing. And when I learned this, I said, oh my goodness, that's fantastic, to another use for this ink. So as you know, it'll ink clear. So you want to just stamp down, and it is clear. I'm pressing down so I can get that full image. And it is a little sticky and clear. And white on the white paper, if that's a little too dull for you, you can go ahead and use some craft paper or a color, and then you'll be able to see it a little bit better, because you do want to see it fairly well. In order to, what we're going to do with the pens is go over that mark with your pens to make it look like that you've actually handwritten that sentiment, when in fact you're just kind of tracing the image from the stamp. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'll be right back. So next I'm going to go ahead and practice that out. So I'm using the thickest brush tip for this. And like I said before, you want to try to keep it at a continuous motion as much as you can. And I know that the image on white is very difficult to see, so I kind of make a little shadow with my hands, and it helps a little bit to see it. So when you're doing the strokes for the letters, you want to go ahead and press down where you want it, the thickest part. So with a lighter hand is the thinner part, and then just press down a little bit more pressure to form it a little thicker where the image or the letter should be thicker. So go ahead and practice that. And like I said, you want to try to stop in between a letter. And the more you practice, the better you'll get at that particular image of what you're doing. It's hard to kind of see sometimes. In this particular word, the Y is actually broken off from the rest of it. So go ahead and practice that as much as you want to until you're comfortable with the formation of the letter. And then go ahead and stamp down. I know you cannot see it here, but I went ahead and stamped it on this card front. So it's right here. I'm going to go ahead and write out that happy with my pen on this card front. So next I'm going to finish the sentiment off with some Onyx Black VersaFine ink. And so that says birthday to you. And I'll go ahead and put that right underneath it. Press down. Okay, so next I am going to glue that onto the card base. I'm also going to add some stitch marks around the edges, and I have put some foam squares on the back of my balloons. I'll go ahead and attach those and some twine, and I'll be right back. So this card is finished. I just attached everything, and the glue is still a little bit wet. It'll dry in a sec. So if you're wanting to give a card to somebody special and you want to add a little personal touch to it, go ahead and try this technique of hand lettering using a stamp. So you're cheating just a tad, giving it a little help, and so it's really fun. And here's the original other one. So next time I'm going to try this technique with watercoloring, a watercoloring brush, and so that'll be next week, so stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.